Uh, can you get rid of that meet.google.com is sharing your screen at the bottom?
Yes.
Correct. Perfect. When are you ready? Also, the meet interface is over here.
Do you want me to get rid of this?
Yeah, just press the X button. It's fine.
Okay.
There you go. Please. All right. When you're ready, I'll get started with this. Okay?
Okay. We created a multi hedge fund analyzer which uses all of the smart AIs to analyze which stocks are uh, the status of each stock, whether you should buy it, hold it, or sell it. Our challenge was the cognitive load. Modern quants are drowning in unstructured news, complex macro shifts, and rapid technical signals. Human latency is a new bottleneck in alpha generation. Another challenge was the bias trap. Single perspective models hallucinate or follow momentum blindly. Without internal stress testing, automated trades lack critical rigor.
Pause 1 second. Go back. Do you understand what's being said on these slides, Stephen?
Yes.
All right. Explain what is alpha generation.
The new generation.
What is alpha?
I don't know the exact meaning.
All right. Modern quant desks are drowning in unstructured news, complex macro shifts, and rapid technical signals. Yeah, and then it's becoming the bottleneck, right? So, in your own words, can you again, when you're explaining this stuff, right? Like, it's if you show that you truly understand something, when you can explain it simply, okay? So, like,
Mhm.
don't just read off it, right? You need to explain that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's not a script here, okay?
Okay.
Cool. So I'll let you move on from here. Like next time, like try from the next slide onward, try to explain it in your own words. Okay. It's fine
Okay.
if you're a little wrong, but like best if you like try to like at least how do you say this? Explain it yourself. Okay.
Yes. 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 Okay. Our specialist agent cluster had multiple tick analyzer, which allowed for uh multiple different settings to analyze the stocks. One of the tick anal and one of the parts of the ticker analysis was the news and macro, which gave real time news API, which means it it gave stuff from the real news using an API from the news and also Fred data. Another
Okay.
thing of our architecture was the fundamentals, which is the different finance meters, such as the prices, the different stock ratios, the how much increased by the percent. Another one was another one was the risk, such as like how would the stock affect like the market? How would this work? What's the risk? How much would you lose?
It
Another
says
one.
what does that say? Annualized volatility and drawdown stress tests, right?
Uh-huh.
What does that mean exactly?
I don't know what the volatility means,
All right.
but the drawdown stress test means it brings down the risk and it analyzes stress tests, which like before you actually trade it, a stress test is like a test, a pre-test before you actually commit the purchase.
That's true. What is volatility?
I don't know what volatility means.
Okay, volatility basically means what do you call it? Like that, sometimes markets are very like they just go up and down very quickly, right? From small
Hmm.
little things. That makes sense, right?
Yes.
So that's volatility, right? So you don't want too much volatility. Volatility can be bad, right? It's hard to predict.
Yes.
That's why too much volatility is risky, right? Same thing with annualized. Just means like we look at it over 1 year, right? Like okay, well, over this period of this year, like how much of it was how much volatility did we have, right?
Mm.
So yeah, again, these words are like the concepts themselves is what you need to be understand, right? Don't get confused by the words. They're not that difficult. Okay,
Okay.
well, let's go with bear and bull research. Can you explain that?
Bear researcher is the research that is stretched into valuation. So like, what's evaluated? How are these stocks are like? It analyzes the market, and the macro headwinds are like the rate it increases in.
Hmm? Okay. Stretch validations and macro headwinds. We have growth catalysts and positive momentum. What's the difference between bull and bear?
I don't know exactly the difference.
All right. When you're making a presentation, right? It becomes very obvious if you don't know what you're talking about. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? Like again, look, don't get stressed out here, right? The point of this is to practice for stuff like this, right? You'll be in a call with a bunch of people who are doing presentations. How are you gonna go about it, right? Like, you need to prepare beforehand, right? Does that make sense? You can't
Yes.
just go around reading a script. People will immediately figure you out. Okay. So let's go to the let's do this. Let's go through the presentation together. I'll help you understand everything. Is that fine?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right. So all right. So first things first, news and macro, right? Like for what's happening here, right? We're doing ticker analysis, right? So ticker analysis is okay. So basically, we are just looking at like a specific stock, right? It's saying that okay, what's going on with this? Uh, so we're looking at okay for this specific stock, how can you predict what's going to happen next? Right? We're looking
Hmm.
at like news around it. Right? We're saying like what are the news articles saying? What's going on with that? That's news and macro, right? Fundamentals is like you're looking at financial data, right? Like what is the price of the stock right now? What is it going on with like which like what are the previous prices, stuff like that, right? That's all it is. Right? Again, these financial words, I also often get confused by them, right? Where they just use these complicated sounding words, but the actual concepts themselves are very simple. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Right. So, and there's the risk is just like, okay, how risky is this? Like, is it going up and down quite a bit, right? Bear and bull. Bear and bull just basically means like a bear market is bearish market is a market that's heading downwards, right? It's like, okay, it's not looking good. Market is being bad. A bullish market is a market that's doing very well. That makes sense. So it's like
Yeah.
a bear researcher is like a researcher is like, oh God, everything is going wrong. I don't know what to do. I'm assuming that the stock market will go down. It's very pessimistic, right? And a bull
Yeah.
researcher will look at it and be like, you know what, the market is going to do great because it's always been doing great. So it's very optimistic. So you want both of them so you can go somewhere in the middle. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Okay. And finally, technical and options. Okay, the what is volatility and the sharp snapshotting, right? Okay, this relates to like options trading, which is a type of stock trading. Okay, that kind of makes sense to you,
Yes.
right? Okay. Now again, when you be prepared with this stuff, right? It sounds very overwhelming, but like when you actually break it down, like this stuff is not that complicated, right? Was this complicated?
No, not really. Once explained
Not
well.
really. Yeah, exactly, right? It's the little. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Little effort goes a long way, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Let's continue. Right. Okay. So now you know the difference between bull and bear, right?
Yes.
So so what's going on here?
Uh, this is the strategic debate engine, which is the engine that powers like the chart and the analysis in our project.
All right. Uh, yeah. So the bull is like optimistic, right? Bear is pessimistic. Does that make sense? So it's
Yes.
looking. Don't get caught up in the like the words there, right? Bull is being like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Everything's going well. This is gonna go well. Bear is like, no man, everything's going horribly. Everything's gonna go horribly. So we want somewhere in the middle, right? And then the judge is basically there in the center, being like, wait, who is more right here? Does that make sense? So these two are debating each other, right? And then the portfolio judge is for the one that makes the decision at the end. Makes
Hmm.
sense? Right? Because
Yes.
that's what's happening, right? Each of these are like little AIs. They're all their own people. They're debating each other, and then finally the portfolio judge is like, you know what? I'm going to make this is the correct decision after like 10 rounds of debates or whatever, how many rounds. Of debate. Cool. Okay, move on. Right, sequential calls, tokens per sequence. Okay, these are three models here. Okay, what part of this do you understand, Stephen?
I understand like the different uh models.
All right,
And
yeah, this there's the Grok LPU, the NVIDIA H100, and NVIDIA A100. These are not models, by the way. They are like computers. Does that make sense? They're like really
yeah,
fast GPUs.
yeah,
Have you heard of GPUs? Like, do you game?
yes, yes.
Right? So like these are GPUs that are made for like AI stuff, right? The NVIDIA H100 is like $50,000, like that expensive,
Mm.
right? Right. So here scaling sequential intelligence. What is this? Like RL LPU fast approach to 17 sequential call in seconds, maintaining real time. Basically, they're saying our app is fast. This is all this is saying because we use something called an LPU instead of a GPU.
Mm.
That's all it is. Okay. Cool. Let's move on. Integrate. Fast API backend, Grok LPU core, and a LangGraph logic. All right. So, did your mentor teach you about fast API?
Uh, I don't remember. I don't
Not
think
remember?
so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. And do you know what Grok is?
It's a type of it's a type of computer or like
Type,
a CPU.
it's not a type of CPU. Grok. Remember Grok API? You must have talked about this. You went to the
Yeah,
Grok website. There's the API key.
yeah, it's a type of API.
The type of API, right? So, what is an API?
AI like an AI processor, like it grabs
It's not
information
an
through
AI.
the
It's not okay. Look, an API and AI are different things, right? So, an API is just communication. That's all it is, right? You're just two apps talking to each other. That's an API. That makes sense. Like we are talking to each other, and then like we're using Google Meets, right? Does that make
Mm,
sense? Right.
yes,
So similarly, like your app is talking to something called Grok, right? It's a website, and then like the interface there is the API, right? Does that make sense?
yes,
Right. So same thing with me to us two talking with Google Meets. Similarly, two apps talk to each other using an API, right? That's all it is. So it's basically all this saying like, okay, we're using fast API, which is a type of API, right? We're saying we're using Grok, right? And we're also saying LangGraph, which is for making the graphs and stuff. That's all it is. Okay, look, I don't want to give you too much of a lecture. Let's just get this over with, okay?
okay.
Cool. Can you just show your demonstration? Just go straight to it. I think at least you should be able to explain that, right?
This is our website. It uses multiple APIs to see like different perspectives off of different stocks, like different AI versions of like famous traders.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go on. Let's start. Now I want to see it working. Right. So you put NVIDIA stock there. Okay. Okay. What does that? What does that graph mean? The bound round by round evidence balance. What's going on here?
Um, I don't know exactly what this means.
Okay. Let's just say I'll explain what this is, and we'll call it a day here. Right. First things first. Look at the live agent room. Right. You see that live agent room with like a bunch of people are talking there. Right. The market data, the technical bull. You see that on the left hand side.
Hmm. Yes.
All right. So what's going on here, right, is that these are different AIs that are talking to each other, right? Remember we talked about bull is very positive, bear is very negative, right? He's pessimistic, right? So there are all of these people are arguing against each other about what's the best decision right now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So they're having like multiple rounds of fighting, right? They're all going against each other, right? So look at their decision path, right? So this that decision path, that graph we just mentioned, right? Okay. Right? They're basically like, okay, are they like what is the result of each of these rounds? Are they agreeing with each other? Are they like how balanced are they? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? The bear and the bull. That's all it is. Right? Finally, at the end, you get like a result about like, okay, what is the correct decision?